And to talk more about the situation in Israel and Gaza, I'm joined now by Phyllis Bennis. She directs the new Internationalism Project at the Institute for Policy Studies in Washington, D.C. She's been a writer, analyst, and activist on Middle East and UN issues for many, many years, and a good friend to CCTV. Thank you and welcome back to our program. We were listening to Stephanie's report together there, talking about there does seem to be some hope that we could be in negotiations again, but beyond that, when you look at the numbers, 1,900 Palestinians dead, 67 Israelis, 64 were soldiers. Hamas is clearly losing this battle when you look at these numbers. Why won't it pull back?
Because this isn't primarily about the military battle. This is a battle to win some kind of ability to breathe. I don't even want to use the word freedom, because freedom isn't going to come out of this battle. There is no military winning freedom here. But the notion that what the Palestinians of Gaza were living under before the current crisis isn't recognized sufficiently around the world for what it was, which was a siege in which people in Gaza could not come and go. They couldn't leave the Strip. That's one of the reasons that the casualty figures are so shocking. When Israel says, well, we gave people notice and we told them to leave, where could they possibly go? They're in this tiny little strip of land which is completely surrounded by a wall built by Israel, that wall guarded by troops, the skies guarded by the Israeli Air Force, the coastal waters guarded by the Israeli Navy. There's no way to breathe. And this is a population, 43% of the 1.8 million people are under the age of 14. They're little kids. So that's who is paying the price. There's no question about that. But I think that it's important to recognize that Hamas has not lost support because of this. You know, when we look at it from outside, the assumption is, oh my God, they must be losing support all over the place because look at the price people have paid. But instead, what we're hearing, certainly inside Gaza, but even in the West Bank, we want our dignity. And if it takes something like this, it's horrific. We don't want this. We want a ceasefire. But we would rather fight on to get some kind of lifting of these restrictions, some kind of opening of the border crossings at the very least. Maybe that's what they'll be talking about tomorrow.
The building of these tunnels, I mean, did that set things off to a really bad start when Israel found out about the tunnels? I mean, could a different strategy have been taken, or was violence the only thing that was really going to get the attention?
You know, I think that this was something that wasn't anybody's first choice. I mean, maybe some individuals who wanted violence, but even Hamas, this isn't their first choice. What had happened was they had agreed to form a unity government with Fatah, with the so-called moderate wing, right, of the Palestinian leadership. But instead of saying, okay, let's try that, let's negotiate, let's talk to them, the Israelis said, we don't care, this is still unacceptable. And what we saw was an absolute remaining in effect of the siege. Nothing changed. And this was after years of negotiations. Remember when Hillary Clinton negotiated the ceasefire in November of 2012, it said within 24 hours, we're supposed to begin implementing the lifting of the restrictions, the opening of the borders. That never happened. That was a year and a half where the Palestinians held their fire. Israelis did not.
What does Israel absolutely have to do to come to the table with, to make Hamas at least partially happy? I mean, is it lifting of the border first, release of the prisoners? Which is it?
I think it's been very clear, because it isn't only Hamas, it's what the Palestinians are asking for, and it matches exactly what the United Nations has asked for. So this isn't just a Hamas issue. It's to open the border crossings. Now, exactly which border crossings? Does it have to be both Israel and Egypt at the same time? Is it all four or only one at first and then the others? I think all of that is negotiable. But there needs to be real motion, not just saying we will talk about that sometime in the future. There needs to be real motion on lifting those restrictions, opening up the border crossings, letting Gaza breathe.
Phyllis Bennis, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll see you again this week.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the negotiations tomorrow. We'll see what happens on Monday.